So yes, Godzilla vs. Kong is out in theaters and HBO Max. Finally, the wait is over and goddamn, it was awesome. So for all you who haven't seen it yet, then do watch it at the earliest and do spend a bit of money on this, since the future of the Monsterverse is in your hands. Show Warner Bros. The power of the people. Democracy, yeah! Anyway, spoilers alert, this video will be an analysis of the movie, a breakdown if you will, with Easter eggs and other information. So let's get down with this sickness. Oh, but do remember to click that subscribe button to be a part of the MindQ family, and ring that bell button for regular updates on upcoming mini breakdowns in detail. The intro scenes of the movie shows Kong trying to break the barrier. This is a result of an unprecedented change in the storm that surrounded Skull Island, which changed as a result of human interfering with the environment and the hollow earth tunnels within the island. So Kong was contained in a biodome that was designated as Outpost 236, which means Outpost 33, that was the previous Monarch station on Skull Island, had been destroyed. Then right after that we get into the intro credit scenes, and just as the previous movies, there were hidden information that is whitewashed, which we will show in upcoming videos. Then we head off to Apex Cybernetics in Pensacola, Florida, and the introduction of this organization/corporation which were experimenting on robotics and titans, which then leads to Godzilla attacking their facility in Pensacola. It is also at that time that we see Mechagodzilla's eye, which is meant to be transported to Hong Kong. The Easter egg here is that Godzilla is seen as the bad guy, like the original and earlier Toho movies. And also another one, as Mark Russell exclaimed that creatures like people can change, which is an Easter egg in itself for Godzilla turning into a hero from the original villain incarnations. But here, it's quite the opposite. Then we see the head of Apex Cybernetics, Walter Simmons, along with the son of Ishiro Serizawa, who is Ren Serizawa, recruiting Nathan Lin to travel to the Hollow Earth to find a power source that would be used to power the world and fight the Titans. They were able to visualize the Hollow Earth through magnetic imaging, which would make sense as anything with electromagnetic waves would not be able to penetrate deep enough, and also seismic waves wouldn't be able to go right down and be that accurate. And in it they discover a power source that has 600 plus gigawatt hours, which doesn't really sound much like a savior or even much for anything global. Then we get to the ocean scene where Kong is transported in a large container ship and is drugged with sedatives up to 88%. And let us chat on the important points, which were the HEAVs getting renamed to Hollow Earth aerial vehicles instead of anti-gravity vehicles. During the journey, they were in a constant fear that Godzilla might track and attack Kong. By Monarch studies, they have discovered that these species have an ancient rivalry and that their ancestors had a war. Then the surprising part of Kong being able to understand and even respond in sign language is seen. Next we see Madison Russell and Josh Valentine meeting Bernie and trying to understand the motives of Godzilla as to why he's attacking humanity and a connection with Apex Industries. Now we get to the much hyped ocean battle scene in the Tasman Sea, but before that we see another Easter egg of Mechanic Kong as a small toy beside Nathan Lin inside the ship. Yeah, Mechanic Kong, the villain that was facing Kong in the 1973 or 76 movie. As seen in the trailers, Godzilla strikes first, flipping the container ship upside down, and during the initial fight, he even managed to draw first blood by biting Kong. When Kong managed to turn back the ship, he realizes that Godzilla would come back and hence jumps ships to save Gia from the fight. The battle ensues and none of them gets the upper hand until they both get underwater and Godzilla drags down Kong into the depths, from which Kong is only saved by depth charges that explode to disorient the G-Man. Then later, Godzilla swims away after they turn off all the engines to play dead to signal their surrender to the King of the Monsters, but not before a final stare down between the two titans. Back to the other group, comprising of Madison, Russell, Bernie and Josh. They break into the Pensacola Apex facility and head down to sub-level 33, where all the action is. This is also another Easter egg, as 33 corresponds to the first giant monster movie ever, King Kong, that was released in the year 1933. Then Bernie states that the place reeks of Breakaway Civilization, which is a science fiction work on the secret space program run behind closed doors and selected number of genetically determined individuals that are chosen to colonize space and exit the Earth. And it is in this scene that we see the Skullcrawler X, which means that Apex played a part in the destabilization of Skull Island. Then we come to the Antarctic scene, and it began with a major Easter egg whereby Kong is transported by helicopters, which is clearly a reference to King Kong vs. Godzilla 1962 when he was dropped on top of Mount Fuji via balloons and helicopters. It is here in Antarctica where the entrance to the Hollow Earth is seen, and this could very well be the same place where Monster Zero was trapped and awakened in King of the Monsters. Then we see them travel to the Hollow Earth and through a wormhole-like phenomenon where we get the interstellar kind of vibe, them being launched thousands of miles in a couple of seconds. So deep in the Hollow Earth, the team and Kong witness a variety of creatures as well as titans. The first were the small leaf wings, which were also seen in Skull Island, but they had a different coloration in this place. Then there were the warbats that fought against Kong and just got pulverized by the titan ape, and he actually ate the head of the other one. Later we get to see two more creatures in the vast plains of the Hollow Earth. One were the crab-like animals that are only the size of a two-storied building, and another one, the bigger predator that hunts them in packs, and these kind of look like a mix between an iguana and a dinosaur. The last creatures to be seen in the Hollow Earth are seen later on in later scenes of the movie, and these are the Hellhogs, and they live in the throne room of Kong, swinging like bats upside down on the cave. Back in the surface in the facility of Apex in Hong Kong, they unleash a Skullcrawler, and this is the red one, and it was very big, bigger than the big one of Skull Island, and it was killed in a sacrificial pit that was testing Mechagodzilla. This triggered Godzilla to change course from the South Pacific into Hong Kong, into the Apex facility located beneath the Victoria Peak. Kong then finds his throne room while in the Hollow Earth, and more about it was discussed in detail in our previous videos, so check it out, about the Kongs and their technology. Meanwhile, Godzilla makes landfall in Hong Kong, and would have been a couple of days of travel for Kong and Godzilla, if you think about it. But here Godzilla senses Kong activating the throne room and shoots a mega atomic breath right down into the Hollow Earth. So this triggers Kong to come back up and fight Godzilla. And in the first battle there were more blows from Kong, and although Godzilla also managed to get some hits, it was kind of a tactical victory for Kong, who used the surroundings and his weapons in a shock attack against the G-Man. But in the second round, Godzilla managed to dislocate Kong's left arm and then went berserk on the giant ape, crawling on all fours like frickin' exorcism kinda shit, terrifying even the Titan Kong. So the battle went to Godzilla, and he comes out as the winner, and Kong was left for dead, and Godzilla continued on to the signal that was sent before, the Mechagodzilla signal. In the third round, Mechagodzilla emerged from the facility beneath Victoria Peak and totally dominates Godzilla, as the mecha was powered by a synthesized power source that was kind of infinite. And also the fight moves of the G-Man had been studied by Apex and Monarch, and the counterattacks had been also pre-planned ahead of the takeover by Ghidorah's consciousness, which also magnified his effectiveness. To be fair, Godzilla had been using his atomic breath for hours on end, and the fight with Kong had left him exhausted and injured. But the team up with Kong finally took down the mechanical titan, and during the departure, there was a moment of mutual respect and recognition, which we first thought they were gonna fight again, but thankfully not. So the movie ends with Kong ruling over the Hollow Earth and Monarch establishing a monitoring station to oversee Kong. And still the only sign language that we know Kong can respond with is home, home. And so with that we come to the end of the video. Do like, subscribe and hit that bell button for regular updates on Godzilla vs Kong dissection videos. Take care fam.